Hello and welcome to Blood and Song.
Hey all.
I am Johnny, your GM. Ryan doesn't know we're live yet, so we're just going to... There we go, he's got his earpiece in. Tonight I'm joined by Christine.
Hello.
Joffrey.
Hi.
Sean.
Hello.
Dan.
Hello.
Brad.
Hi.
And Ryan.
Yay!
How is everyone this fine week? And can I just say, before you tell me how you are, happy anniversary, everyone.
Happy anniversary.
It's officially a year since our first stream. That's pretty impressive.
Or as close to
Well
it.
done
I
for
think it was
surviving.
the 26th was our first one.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
But,
Technically, Tuesday, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
But so yeah, we've done one full year of this, and it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing.
A journey.
Yeah,
On
we
a
should
journey
do something.
around the
We should have
sun.
planned something special for this, really, but we haven't.
Well, who's to say I haven't?
Yes.
Well, you and all of us. Um,
Speak for yourself,
okay.
mate.
Oh, have you got something planned for us anniversary? style?
Yeah!
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, okay. Oh,
If
I'm
you'd have got
genuinely
it, if you'd have
impressed.
got here on time, Sean.
Hey,
Mhm.
nobody.
Everyone else has
who's
been
watching
prepped.
Knows whether I'm on time or not. Right, so don't blow it, Brad. All right, I already look like, as you said, some sort of Patrick Bateman figure. I feel like under these lights, I look a bit like a vampire. I have vampiric sort of translucent
of shiny
twilight
skin. Yeah.
And the autofocus can't get me because it probably thinks I'm a light bulb. So I'm already having to deal with all of this stuff. So don't grass me up, Brad. All right, well, I'm excited. I'll be experiencing it like everyone at home, right? As a genuine
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we
Yeah.
don't actually know what's planned. I'm just grilling you.
surprise. Speaking of
Right.
grilling, I've thought that maybe one of the gents here might join us in the Movember, Bradley, from last year. They've had a year to think long and hard
Yeah.
about the mental health awareness of other men. and-
Christine said she was doing it. We didn't want to
Yeah,
step on
that's
her
what I
shoes.
thought.
man.
Christine has shaved her,
Yeah,
her
look.
wonderful moustache.
Yeah.
So, I'm very, very pleased with that.
Well, I have instead of opening up my razor case, I've opened up my wallet and started the run of donations that we will be
You did
working
do that. You
towards
did do
That was very kind. of you.
for
Once
Movember,
again-
which is
Once a
why
year, I have certainly shaved a part of my body and will be growing a moustache for it if
Nice.
we reach target donations.
Pictures, yeah?
I will
Pictures
shave
when
We're
you
not
finish.
allowed to.
Yeah,
We're not
we
allowed to
didn't
tell
learn
anyone, but it is the anus this year, isn't it?
That's
So
correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought so.
I will be growing an asshole moustache.
Nice.
And
Or as
to
we
be
like to call
fair-
it, the Tom Selleck.
yeah.
or
To be fair, oh, that was
I dunno,
good. That was a
that's-
deep cut and a dig at Tom Selleck. Deserved, but
I
good.
reckon that's gonna be a thing now.
That's it.
Yeah,
People
also,
will be going into their waxing, going asking for a Tom Selleck.
also, on a side note, I wouldn't want Joffrey. I've seen him with a bald head, and we've seen him without a beard, and I like all of what's going on with Joffrey. So
Yes.
No,
I'm personally glad.
I might. I'm very disorganized. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
thought
fair.
about
So
it
am
and
I.
then
I'll fess
realised-
up. I only
5 minutes
shaved
ago I hadn't
today,
done it
not
yet.
yesterday, because
Yeah,
I
me
forgot.
too. Yep, same here.
But today's November, so it's fine. Today is the beginning of
That's what
November.
my thoughts. Yeah, I'll just start on the first.
But
It's
everybody
November
wants
now.
12 hours worth of growth or whatever overnight, right? That's what you really hope
No,
for,
because
not this-
that 12 hours is the worst amount of growth in my opinion. Because you can't shave it because it's too small, and it feels not for me.
Is that a technical term, Bradley?
Yeah.
I mean, to be
yeah.
fair,
Google
12
that.
hours worth of growth for me is even more than when I originally shaved. So 12 days will get me to that point, Brad, I think.
I mean, to be
Even-
fair, I did actually shave yesterday. It just...
It
so
just
this
grew
is
back
12
in.
hours of growth.
yeah, yeah. It's very
Sneezed and
Italian
it came
after
back
all.
out.
Yeah.
We no, but although we're ribbing everybody gently, we'll put a link up anyway, and people at home can
Phrasing.
donate. We raised about 300 quid last year, actually,
Yeah.
which was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I thought we only raised about 150. I went back in and checked, and we raised about 300. So we'll put a Facebook link on as well, and we'll share it around. Yeah.
Don't you mean
and,
a meta link?
Mm.
Oh, don't. Let's go back to men's suicide, please. I'd rather talk about that than talk about Zuckerberg.
To be fair, I was thinking about this on the train home in my commute, that playing D&D in the meta will be amazing.
Well, it's just like this, though, isn't it? It's just-
But I'll see an actual dragon as long as you don't put any big spiders in the campaign. I'm all right. Might
I don't
actually
want to
poop
see
myself.
anything that Johnny throws at us in 3D. Thanks. I think.
But how
Just-
many levels will there be of that? Because in the meta, you will be a character, right? And will your character be playing another character in the D&D? So will your character be playing D&D?
Now we're just
Ah,
getting
I guess
too
if you
meta.
get- if you
We're
get
getting
a-
too
How many
meta.
levels in can you go before your brain explodes?
Yeah, but the meta is you're playing a character who metally knows the game, so has a player's handbook, but you're also playing a character who understands that he's the meta, who has the player's handbook, that's playing the player, and that's when the whole thing just goes off the rails.
And if
I
you would
agree
like
100%.
And if you would like to metally get involved with us, you can find us on the artist formerly known as Facebook at Blood and Song, and you can find us on Instagram there as well, and you can find us on Twitter at Blood Song Party. Let us know: are you excited about playing D&D in the metaverse?
Oh, do you want some sort of sound effects over that? Is that what you were hoping for?
Yeah, somebody, anybody.
Wait, I've got one. Go on, do it again, Ryan.
Okay. Are you excited about playing D&D in the metaverse? I didn't hear anything. You'll let me
too late.
down. You'll let me down. I'm gonna find new. I'm gonna find new metaverse friends. They'll make sound effects for me.
Sorry, mate. It was too good to resist. Talking of too good to resist, has anything else happened to people?
Oh, I thought you were going to go straight into the game.
Did
That would be
did
good.
anyone dress up for Halloween or get any trick or treat callers?
I did dress up for Halloween, yeah.
What did
I
you guys
people
dress
were-
up as?
Well, I just sort of went as a weird generic serial killer, and
Just
Oh, not an off-brand serial killer,
Hmm,
like
yeah.
a Tesco value serial
Yeah.
killer.
and I got this LED mask thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, that is
Ooh,
cool.
That is cool.
And put on a three-piece suit and a black tie, walked down the street, and people were genuinely scared. So yeah, I felt kind of guilty because I was like, it's Halloween, yay, everyone's around having fun, and then they'd see me, like everyone's dressed as witches or whatever, and then they would see me and they would sort of like, oh, okay, this is not costume, and they would walk away, and I was like,
Well, you cut an intimidating figure, Joffrey. I think that's probably what it is.
You probably look like something out of Watchdog Legion. You know what I mean?
I think so, sort of a V for Vendetta / I don't know, something.
Michael
Yeah.
Myers.
Well, I do actually have a Halloween story for you all before we begin. See, when I was a little boy, I was raised in a very religious household, and we weren't allowed to celebrate Halloween at all because it was Samhain, which is a festival celebrating the Night of the Dead, essentially, when the spirits are closest to Earth. And any time, like, my friends at school would do Halloween and stuff and get excited, my mother would berate me and be like, you cannot, no, we don't celebrate it. It's bastardization of our beliefs. And I was like, okay, all right. Then I grew up, and my brothers followed many, many years after me. And by the time my youngest brother came along, she was like, so we're going trick-or-treating this year? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? All my youth, I wanted to do that shit, and you were like, no! She's like, well, I've just chilled out in the 17 years since. I'm like, I'm not right with that.
That's the curse of the older brother, man. You don't get
Yeah.
nothing
You
fun.
don't get fun.
Well,
No
the joke
Nerf
is that...
guns,
But
no
as the younger
Nerf
brother, at least
guns.
you don't get Tipex in your face.
That's true. Yeah.
I've told you about that
Remember
story off
depressing
stream.
story
Yeah,
from last
yeah,
year?
yeah.
I'm
But-
trying the weirdest mix. I've got drumstick chocolate, not a sponsor, but you could be.
Please
I
don't sponsor
prefer
us.
it not to be sponsored. Exactly. Stay away from us, please.
That sounds terrible. I mean, I like,
Mm-hmm.
but,
I like chocolate. I like
No.
drumsticks.
but not
Yeah.
never the twain should meet.
And you know what?
I
Together,
I had the same reaction.
Could be good.
it just tastes like you're eating, like you've got a squishum and some chocolate and ate it together.
No.
But I
I'm
don't
sorry.
like that.
Oh, so it's
I'm
just-
gonna
it's-
find-
no.
find
So
out.
it's just got jam inside the chocolate then, basically.
I'm not a
Basically,
fan.
and I'm gonna eat. I'll
That
eat
sounds
this
alright.
entire
Do you know what
bar.
I got given talking about sweets? I never have sweets to show people, and then my cousin gave me, like, this chocolate I can only have once a year. I
Oh,
got
yeah,
Batchy!
shit. Classic.
Isn't that what you roll cigarettes with?
That's Becki. It's Batchy. It's
Okay.
a classic Italian Christmas chocolate, which I am all here for. That and Raffaello,
Surely
which
you
are...
can eat it all year round. That's
I mean, can, but I don't because I'm a
Yes.
purist.
So when you say once a year, you mean for like 3 months a year, right?
Yeah,
'Cause it's
sure.
November now. so-
Look, Christmas season starts on September the 1st if you work in
Okay.
retail.
That's
I don't,
actually true. Yeah.
yeah.
but I used to. So I feel like spiritually I
That's-
still do.
This weekend, me and my family had a Diwali meal, even though it's,
Oh,
it's
lovely.
still to come this week. My the parents live in a sort of
Cul-de-sac.
place cul-de-sac, and one of the women there is an amazing. She started up her own home Indian restaurant over lockdown, and they bought from her. And she would made a special Diwali meal. So we all went round to my mum and dad's and shared. Even though we're not necessarily a family that would generally celebrate Diwali, we did. And my little boy decided to tell us the entire Diwali story. Now,
the whole thing.
I hadn't taught him it. He'd got it from school.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
It's been quite a torrid month for the last month. He came home asking who God the Father was and how he made the world.
Right.
And
How?
yes,
He got very drunk one night.
Sarah and I had to have many a conversation. He's come up with a new version of how God the Father made the world, which
Great.
involves him being made of stars. And then when he created the universe, there was only a little bit of him left. He's left as a split star, so he had to rest. And there it is, which sounds a bit like the Big Bang mixed with God.
Isn't that basically what Johnny did with but as a woman instead, right?
Yeah.
Has he just been reading my Erionwel story?
It's literally the Erionwel
He's
Pantling.
100% created Johnny's story at the age of 5. So just saying that.
Oh no!
So we were
Fine.
really worried about. We're obviously concerned that he was only getting one sort of religious input, but then he came back and gave us the entire story, including arrows of lightning. The arrow of lightning was his favourite bit.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
It was to be fair, with the exception of some embellishments.
Did they have to do with Spider-Man?
That's right. Which was
Yeah.
really cool. So yes, happy Diwali coming up this week, because we won't
Yes.
be able to say it before we go. I hope you enjoy your entire week worth of celebrations, as we should,
Yeah.
and that
Damn right.
we'll get subsumed into fireworks night on Saturday.
Yeah.
But,
Very nice.
yes.
And I saw Russell Brand in Oxford. I didn't just go.
Speaking
and
of
see him.
Diwali.
That's weird.
Trick now?
Yeah. Speaking of spirituality,
Trick or treat.
I saw him trick or treating. Yeah, in down an alley. No, yeah. Anyway, it's not a huge long story, but my aunt bought tickets to go and see him. She was drunk when she bought them, and she thought that it was in Richmond. And only last week did she find out it was in Oxford. So it was quite a trek to go from London to Oxford. So loads of people dropped out, and I got free tickets. So yeah,
Did
that was
you
alright.
text Tally to say, "Hey, I'm in Oxford. Do you want to meet up for a drink?"
Oh, I completely forgot he was in Oxford. So
Well,
sorry, mate.
he-
I mean, he doesn't watch this. We know that.
Breaking
Um,
news: he just texted me telling me he hates you. So
Oh fuck, he's quick, isn't he? He's sharp.
it's fine. Even if I told him the story right now, it would take him 3 years to reply. So it's fine.
I saw a lovely photo of you having a little cuddle with him, Sean.
What? Oh yeah, I at the end he was very. Look, I don't need. I mean, Russell Brand sells himself pretty well. I don't need to sell Russell Brand, right? He knows how to sell his brand. That's not a pun, honest to God. But at the end, he was quite. He gave the audience quite a bit of time, and so I wasn't going to talk about this, but a few years ago when I had my own mental health crisis, I was only able to watch 3 things, and it was Brene Brown TED Talk, so I'd never heard of before.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, right. Sky
That's
Arts
fun.
Portrait Artist of the Year, because it's the most soothing, loveliest program
really
I've ever
is.
seen. Right. All the judges are so nice about everyone
Yeah.
and all their paintings. And Russell Brand, because at the time he was just engaging in his own spiritual journey, and so was
He
I.
just started
so-
his YouTube channel then, hadn't he?
Yeah, he had. So
Yeah.
I found that really useful. Dan's not a fan, obviously. But no, but so yeah, so it was nice. So I
Yours.
sort of I gave him a hug. I said, like, I don't want a selfie because that's not my style, but my aunt took a picture, which is nice. But I said, I just want to give you a hug and sort of close the loop. I'm still going through my journey, as so is he. So we all talking to men's mental health and everything as well.
Mm.
But so I thought, I just wanted that physical contact to close the loop of of the sort of the contact through the screen that you get with these figures that you sort of look to when you're on your journey. So yeah.
So did you know? Did I ever tell a story about Nikki and Russell Brand? Nikki, my wife, for people at home, wonderful woman. Was it
I don't know where this is going.
It's exactly where you kind of think, but not.
Okay.
15 years ago, she was working in a theatre before she'd met me, obviously, and Russell Brand was playing. This was before his spiritual journey, which just shows how much people can grow. Because he apparently took one look at her in the theatre and went, "You want to come back to my dressing room?" And she just looked at him and went, "No chance, mate," and walked off, which I still find endearingly wonderful, because that was at this height of his fame, and my wife has an incredibly high opinion of herself, which is very well deserved in my opinion.
Yes,
obviously.
indeed.
So what can I say? You've hugged not only Russell Brand, but a man so charismatic, the most beautiful woman in the world, turned down Russell Brand
You're saying
only
he's
to
in
eventually.
theory he's less charismatic than you, is what you're saying.
That's
I think
exactly
where
what
we're
I'm
going. I
saying.
think that's
That's
where we're
fair
going with
And
this.
speaking of the most charismatic characters, Ripper's coming up now. Brad.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not allowed
no,
to do that. We've
no.
talked about
Fun.
this.
That was
that.
so
It was
good.
good.
Also,
but it wasn't-
also, I went to the circus for the first time this week.
Oh wow,
That's
awesome!
pretty
Which
cool.
one?
First time ever.
Thank you. Yeah, never been to the
Wow.
circus before. My dad wouldn't let me go because where we used to live, there was lots of dodgy characters who
Right.
you'd think twice about someone going on those rides. Because
What do you mean what do you mean
I've
dodgy
never-
characters? It's a
Because there were,
circus.
like,
You're telling me
circuses and
you've
then
never
Barney's.
been to a traveller
Barney's.
theme park?
No,
The most
I mean-
dangerous place you'll ever go as a kid.
it was. Do you know what? It was brilliant. It was up in Stafford because my friend lives up there, and I was visiting. And it was in Trentham Gardens, and it was called Spooktacular.
That sounds cool.
And it was brilliant for Halloween, especially. But they had all sorts of acrobatics and aerial work, and and it was just a small family thing. And you realise that the person who was juggling was also the person that sold the tickets on the door. And then
Oh,
the
that's
clown was
nice.
doing a face painting in the interval, and and they're all selling like cotton candy and things like that. And it was brilliant. Anyway,
Talking of clowns, I think it's time we jumped into tonight's show. There you go, Ryan. That was for you. Roll the tape, Brad. And welcome back. Previously on Blood and Song, our characters had ventured to the far north where they had embarked upon a quest of rescuing the settlement of Hingstead from an undead incursion. Upon succeeding, they met Ingrid, a trainee druid, who beseeched them to stay the night and to avoid the darkness. They did, resting up and hearing strange, feral screams through the night. They told stories and huddled together to stay warm until morning came, whereupon they were set out to a barrow to cleanse whatever foulness had emanated from there, possibly the cause of the undead in the village that Ingrid sent them to cleanse as she stayed back to watch the others. As they got there, they saw a character that might have been this mysterious wanderer that they've been searching for, wandering around Nurmengard causing problems. They didn't meet the wanderer. Instead, they met a satyr with torn horns, wearing a long, dark cloak, and wielding a scythe. They fought together against the undead, and against the flaming skulls that ushered forth from the tomb. And then they explored, searching for any clue, any answer. And as Faeza was ducking down, exploring behind what looked like it may have been a burial mound, might have been an altar, a tiny brain with legs jumped at her. Party came to her defence, and soon this creature lay dead on the floor, its foul tentacles dropping and not moving. And that is where we pick up, with all of you standing in this burial mound in the darkness.
What's the time of day?
It's getting towards midday-ish.
Okay. I can't. Sorry, Joffrey. I can't remember if your character introduced himself to us or not.
Docs. The name is Docs.
Okay. Listen, Docs. Like, I don't know what your sleeping pattern is, right? Mine's normally sort of a nice tight 8 hours, but I don't really sleep. You know, it's not a great place to sleep now. It's midday. And also, this place ain't hallowed. So,
We are agreed.
based on the things you're saying, I don't know whether this is the best place for you to be staying. I know you got your your beef with the mother of that place or whatever. What's her name? The Druid lady at Ingstead. But like, why don't we just go and maybe smooth things out a bit, right? I'm a bit of a talker. I can find out what's gone wrong. Patch it all up. It'll be all
I
right.
can tell you what's gone wrong, and I don't
Alright.
think you'll be able to patch it up.
Oh, go on then. Give us what's happened?
I killed the Druidess.
As in,
Okay. It doesn't seem.
Why?
It's a very long story. I don't think we have the time.
I don't know. I think we have all afternoon.
Well, fine, if you all want to listen to it.
sure, yeah, lay it on me. Lay it on me, big guy.
Well, I lived in a town, a small town, north of here, where it's colder. I was a ranger. My wife was the chief druidess. We had a happy, simple life. I hunted and gathered, and she did the spells and the hallowing and the general caretaking of the village. And then one night, like every night, we gathered before the heath, and the walls came down. The spells broke, something happened, and we got overrun. But the creatures that came in that night were different, and they didn't just kill everyone, they were torturing everyone. And it was taking long and long and long and long. And I somehow prayed that they would die quickly, that their suffering would stop. And they did. So I killed them all. Somehow. Thing is, when you kill a druidess, they all know. It marks you somehow. So when they see me, they just know that I've killed a druidess. They don't know why or what's happened or when.
Like a wasp. When you kill a wasp, like that, the scent. Is that what it's like?
I suppose, yes.
I think it's more magical than that. 6.
Probably
I'm-
more magical, yes.
I'm starting to think that you may not be a follower of Illyria after all. Because, you were casting all the light stuff and you're talking about the Allied, and I thought, oh, me and this Docs guy, we're all right. We follow
I
the
think
same goddess,
Illuria's called something different here.
Yes,
Ripper.
Oh, Doc, what's the name of the god who loves, bit of life, bit of fertility, that sort of stuff?
Do we worship the same gods, but with different names? Is that what you're inferring?
Well, I think so. That's what. Faeza, were you chatting to that druidess, old Flamey Air, or whatever her name was?
Well, briefly, but I think she said, well, she's mentioned an Earth Mother called Ginda, and I thought maybe that was Andra, but I don't know. We didn't get much chance to chat.
So, Docs, you would know that as Ripper is mentioning the goddess of life, you would think of Aelor, also known as the Night Mother.
Yes. You're probably referring to Aelor, the Night Mother. And no, I do not worship her.
Oh, Night Mummy. She sounds all right.
You do you, mate.
Wow. I mean, everything's beautiful, isn't it? Gods, fawns, everything.
Can we go back to the fact that the druids know when do they know if you do good things to them, or is it a constant communication, or is it
It's like a brand. They just see you. If you've killed the druidess, they just know. I don't know how it works. It's magic.
Okay.
If you've killed the druidess, all the other druidesses in the circle will know.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, and I'm really sorry if this brings up any painful memories. The druidess you killed was your wife.
Yes.
Can
I'm
I?
sorry. I'm so sorry.
as a druid, tap into, I don't know, insight, arcana, nature, don't know which, to detect this signal?
I will let you make either a nature or an arcana check of your choice.
Okay, they're both the same,
Okay.
so it doesn't matter. Because nature's an int.
Remember I said you can use wisdom for it.
I mean, I got... Okay, then I rolled a natural 18 plus 5.
As
23.
Docs says this, you quieten your mind. Obviously, you hadn't really got further than the even star line when you'd been here previously, so actually kind of your training with the druids had been
Very basic.
quite very basic. But as you're kind of reaching out with your senses, for the moment you can almost feel the flames of your birds as it kind of manifests itself and just sits on your shoulder. You feel it reaching out, and you can feel it tethering all the colleagues that you've been fighting with for the last 2 months or so. And you can feel it kind of binding, you can feel their essence. As it reaches out towards Docs, it's not that it recoils off him, it feels like drinking dirty water. It has this kind of oily slickness around him that just feels
Like
wrong.
British rivers, am I right?
And British seas, let's be honest.
Deep cut for anybody that's not in England, I suppose.
We don't really look after our water.
It's true.
There is
Well-
something malignant in you. I can't really tell what it is, but it's antagonistic to myself, at least. Not saying you are, but your nature is.
Sorry you feel that way.
It's not.
I think that's part of it. I think
It's not how I feel. It's how the bird feels.
I don't know how it works. I just know that they know.
And
I
neither
walk into a
do
village,
I.
And if there's a druidess, they see me and they know.
6. Have you ever on the
Ah.
battlefield had to do a similar thing in your history as a commander or captain or whatever you're captain, right? Captain, yeah. Have you ever had
Captain
to
of the ninth hand?
and Docs, I don't wanna put, whatever you had to do was such a difficult thing, but it's effectively like I've heard it be described like an angel of mercy, right? Like had to put someone out of their misery so that they don't suffer anymore. 6, have you sort of had to do a similar thing in your lifetime?
More times than I would like. I've had to normally it's hunting. When you hunt, you have to make sure that the animal is properly respected in all its forms, and sometimes it requires a degree of mercy. And also with skirmishes, battles, fights, sometimes there are those that are beyond Docs. I'm not trying to infer anything, but beyond saving. I take no pleasure in it, but at the same time, I understand in a workman-like way, it is part of the role, it's part of the job. I don't know if for you it was personal, or if it was part of.
I don't think I've expressed myself properly. I was being tortured as well at the time. I just prayed.
That's
my
marriage, my
prayers.
friend. You know what I mean?
I haven't laughed in a long time. Thank you, my friend.
But it's very serious. I'm sorry.
Well,
No,
the thing is, what
I just prayed and I felt the prayers being answered, and I felt a voice in my head say, "If you live, I will let the others die."
well,
And I just accepted.
I think I'm getting at here is that we've got enough past experiences outside of this world to be able to have a genuine conversation with the druids and back at this village. And we can go. It's inside the walls. You shouldn't be left out there. And
If they can feel
hopefully...
what I can feel, they're going to be very uninclined to converse. With
Right, well, we can.
Would they have preferred his wife to have been tortured over and over again for one of the druids? Is that what they want? They
No,
want
but they
pain
won't-
and misery. Is that what they want? This man put these people out of their misery, and I can't imagine it's
they can't.
anything like
They've-
putting an animal. As I love you, brother, but I can't imagine killing your own wife is anything like putting an animal down. I've never had to do something like that. I can only imagine what it's like.
You know, brother, I've killed men. I just not something I necessarily want to talk about at the moment.
But not our
we
own
can
wives.
we can try and talk to the druids, but
I
they're
think this
going
man-
to
I
going
think
to
this man
struggle
deserves
to
at least
even.
that, huh? If they're
I
gonna-
I agree with you. I agree with you, Black. But they're going to be very uninclined to even believe the story.
But then maybe they don't deserve our friendship, huh? Maybe I don't want to be friends with people like that.
I mean, I agree. If people don't listen, and that is a bad thing. But sometimes if they don't have the information, and
Yes, we should give them the information. I
they
agree.
can't make that
It's
decision.
not necessarily.
I mean,
It's not
Ingrid-
necessarily even the information. Can you all remember the first time we faced those oily creatures back in the village? And that feeling that they all gave you? Imagine that feeling, but that's what those other druids feel towards this unfortunate form.
Well, can't we like leave them outside with a sending stone and then just like relay back and forth?
No, I don't think that would be proper either. I'm not comfortable with that.
If I may be so bold, madam, if you are prepared to speak for the party, up here we see women in a different regard. I think your voice might be able to carry a little more weight than mine. When I walk into a village on my own, I am a man.
Oh,
I
okay.
might be able to help more.
I mean, I'm aware that obviously in this place there's I don't think that this place is very protected because it's not hallowed, and that we do need to find some kind of shelter, even if it's not the village. We do need to move somewhere that there is. I mean, if you don't want to go back to the village where the druidess is, do you know anywhere
If you
that's
will
within
speak for me,
travel?
if you will speak for me, I will come to the village with you and try.
Okay.
what?
Sorry. Go on, Ripper.
Well, I was going to say, I think he's right. My abs haven't done anything for the women up north here yet, right? And like, normally, a little bit of oil, it's perfect.
No, I'm starting to think that we are objects to them here. So I think that will be suitable. Maybe you will be objectified the way that you want to be in Chinella. Maybe here you will be objectified in the correct way. I don't
Well,
know.
the thing is, Faeza, let me come and help you as your envoy when you're talking to them, right? You and I, we speak a little bit of gnomish to each other so we can sort of like, and then that maybe will help you, say some of the right things with them.
Ordinarily, I would absolutely agree with you and want all your input and
Perfect.
diplomacy.
She's agreeing. I think that's a
but,
bloody great plan. Let's do that.
I
Nice
would
one,
say
Faeza.
that sometimes whispering in another language in front of somebody engenders distrust. So perhaps we need to be very open if we're going to be trying to persuade people that we are honest.
We can always go in with a plan before we
yeah.
talk.
Well, we do need
I
to
think
go
first
to them.
thing is, Octavius, you're staying outside, right?
I will stay with the fawn if we are staying
He's a
outside the
druid.
gates, sure.
He's a druid.
Actually, I know he is
So,
a druid, isn't he? Yeah, he is a druid. Actually,
perhaps
no, we might need you
because
actually.
We
I'm
were
not
sent
sure
out.
they would actually appreciate that. They tend to distrust male magic wielders.
Well, back to the
Gosh.
first. Oh,
They-
then I'm out as well, then, aren't I?
Yeah.
If you
I
don't
just need
mind,
sticks and lack.
I'd love to say that perhaps, I mean, we were sent here, and they asked us as a favor to check out this site.
Oh, I
So
see.
if we go back to the village and we say to them that we could not have done this without your assistance, which is true, and no lie has been told, and then we can perhaps lay the ground so that you could. I mean, Ingrid sounds like a great ally to have, and perhaps she would be more prepared to listen as she's fought with us before, and would trust our word. So perhaps that's the way forward.
Oh, Faeza, I love watching those gears ticking your head. Artificer through and through, ain't ya?
Well, maybe. But yeah, either way, we could take the tablet that we found next to the northern altar the one that said, "A moment, please." Destroy the magic, make this place a heresy, bring more north. The search continues. I think they'd be very concerned that a barrow for their dead, their ancestors, has been unhallowed and been made heretical. So maybe we should take that with us to show them that there is a bigger problem than perhaps the problem they may have with docs.
You know, I think
It was
that's a good
Docs
idea.
that translated that, right? Just from memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if I may, I think a better plan might be. Remember, we heard a story when we were younger, brother. Some like it bloody hot, and what happened is a couple of people hiding. They pretended to be in a band, kind of like what we did earlier on, right? Yeah. And they put on the wigs and they, gone on a journey, and they were I can't remember what happened at the end. But I think that's probably a better plan. I don't know about all of you guys, but we'll just mull it over while we're walking.
I heard them tell that in another language, and the title of the story was awful. It was something like, "Do men dress up in dresses?"
Yeah. Well, it
Mm,
just
yes,
gives
we have
away
a-
the
we have a
ending
v-
of the
We
story.
have a version of this. It's called "Put a Skirt On and Go Crazy."
I think there's a version in Zawati as well, and I do believe that one of the men in a dress likes to be in a dress and nearly gets married to a millionaire, and it was very, very forward thinking. Anyway,
Sounds very good. I like the idea of it.
I think that play was just coming to Chinello. We're a bit behind.
either
That
way,
doesn't surprise me at all. Octavius.
You're a little bit behind, you know.
I believe that we should perhaps make our way back to the village either way, even if we perhaps do, Docs can wait by the door or something similar, and we can introduce him and see how they take it.
As you're all leaving, can you all make me a perception check, please?
Ooh,
DC is 14.
I don't see shit.
Smashed it with a 28.
Oh, Ripper don't see shit.
9. Only got a 9.
No, she's too distracted. I got a 10.
Okay. So anyone who gets over 14, what you see, or what you hear as you kind of start making your way towards the exit, you just start to hear this like a bubbling, hissing sound. And as you turn around, you see the tiny brain that had jumped towards Faeza just starting to bubble and rot. It's not gone yet, it's just begun to.
I firebolt it. I think it's
No,
coming
no.
back alive.
Yeah, I'm stabbing it as well. I'm going for it.
Disappearing? Could we not take a bit of?
You firebolt it, and it scorches the outside. A little bit is cut off, but the bits that remain are still hissing and bubbling.
Do they normally do that? I mean, it's the first time I've seen a walking brain that attacks your face.
This is the
so I
first
don't
time
know.
anyone has seen this.
This
Okay.
is my first encounter with one of these creatures as well. I think we should.
Brother, do something.
Lit.
It's unnatural.
Do something about the thing.
What would we do?
I mean, destroy it. It shouldn't exist.
You could take an investigation check, an arcana check, or a nature check to try and understand what you
I
see.
will go closer and I will try an arcana check, seeing as this thing doesn't seem very natural.
Hold another firebolt in my hand ready just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, she's. Oh no. I got
Oh.
11.
I got a
Terrible.
natural 20 on my investigation.
I'm going
Okay.
back to my natural dice. I like them better.
So as you go up, Faeza, Sixsmith's trying to kind of peer over you, trying to make it look like something that he's maybe seen before, relate it to a creature he may have come across, or even a story or a myth. There is nothing. For you, you're looking and you can sense some magical aura, or rather a disturbance in the force, in this creature, that there is, again, a sense of wrongness that you can't place. Ripper, as you are looking, you feel this light, this warmth inside you, from the same place that when you raise your hand, your weapon with Alluria in your mind, you feel that light kind of hone in your senses. And as you're looking down, you can see that the legs that attach to the brain aren't attached to the brain, as in growing out, they are physically attached. You can almost see stitches on them. As you kind of look deeper still, as this thing is hissing and bubbling, you can see that it is giving off a black, acrid smoke. And where the acid almost seems to be corroding, it's pooling in a black, oily substance.
As in the black oily substance we've seen before.
Be a good guess.
All right, hold on a minute. Get back. This is that horrible stuff that is that the blight. It's the blight stuff.
Oh,
you know?
shit. Fireball.
You keep firebolting it, and if you keep repeatedly do it, you could speed up the burning of this thing.
No, I just threw the one, just in case.
Oh, okay. It's like a little magical fire bullet into it. Another little bit sparks into cinders.
I don't really want to blow a spell slot and radiant it, but
Have you told us about the black?
I have
ooze?
a-
yeah, I said it's like the black ichor, like the thingy.
Brother, what is this? You must have learned something, and you're reading all your big tomes and your books and everything, and you're
The
learning.
brain stitched to legs, brother, is not it's not something I've seen, except in a couple of nightmares, which I was fortunately woken up from by being smacked with a stick. So it's fine because you can't sleep for more than 2 hours at a time.
I've-
Can
That's
I,
what it's for.
Oh, that's
I'd like to
Good
use my
training, I think.
right tool for the job and cast Eldritch Blast. Which I can't remember what I have to do for that.
Is it alive, or is it moving around?
I
because of
think
the
let's
blast?
just-
I think
fire.
it's dead. It's just.
It's very dead.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very dead.
It might be dangerous still. I mean, we don't know much about this oily substance still.
Well, if we know the blight, if we know the blight's made it all the way up here, then we've got something.
Perhaps.
Have you encountered this
I
before
pres-
then?
We have, but
Many
I had a sample in a vial. And I gave it to a doctor called Imara. So perhaps if I take another one of my vials, maybe the druids have seen this as well.
That's a good idea. I think
that
we
is
should
a good
stop
idea.
playing with it. And
Okay.
take it.
Either way, I
Um,
feel like we should remove this from here if we need to hallow this space, or if
I
they
mean,
Yes.
I
ever
would really
hope
be
to hallow it again.
not inclined to touch this stuff. I would rather just
I-
burn
I-
it away.
I don't wish to touch it either. But yes, I think in the meantime, I think I do need to grab a little, just in case they've seen this before. I'm wondering if I've got anything I can use so I don't have to use my hand. Damn it! I'm missing Seed's mage hand. That's very useful.
We might have some ad hoc bits and pieces we can just
Put it on the end of Put it on the
We'll
end
have
of a
cooking
a
weapons
Can
weapon.
and stuff,
I
put it in a
use
fork.
Druidcraft to create a bowl of leaves that lifts some up?
Yes, I like it. Continue. You have permission.
Okay,
so,
great.
so I use Druidcraft to lift some oil up in a bowl of leaves and
Okay.
pour it into the vial.
Okay, and she's gonna drop her glasses, put her goggles on, and then pull her gloves on, and just go okay, and get it, and it'll be very careful, and then we'll pop a little lid.
You can add vial of corruption from the north to your inventory.
Mercy buckets, thank you.
In the meantime, can we collect some wood and just bonfire it?
You
I-
certainly can.
Hold produce flame over it until it's gone.
That will also do it. Likewise, if anyone had sacred flame, it would be it's another instant thing that would kind of send it
I
up.
have that, yeah.
As you release that, you can see the produced flame is slowly burning it. The moment you produce the sacred flame, it just incinerates it, almost turning it to ash in the air.
Yeah, awesome.
On a side note, Octavius, can you use that to serve in my soup next time we go to sit down and eat?
I mean, I can create a fire with it, but I'm not going to hold it.
No,
out
not the
for you.
fire, the leaf bowl.
Oh, the leaf
thing.
bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to cook soup in leaves.
No, just serve it to me in that, just
Oh,
like
okay. Well, I can create a bowl out of leaves. again
perfect.
If you
All
want.
right, well remembered. Shall we start plodding back to town then?
So
Are we going to grab? Is the tablet big enough for us to take, by the way, or are we?
yeah,
Okay.
it was like a piece of slate that was about 6-7 inches
I'm gonna
tall.
shove it in the
3-4
bag of
inches wide.
holding. Shove it in my man bag.
And you head back to town with relative ease. You do see a few wolves on the horizon on the walk back, but they look up and sniff towards you. And you don't know why, but they just bolt the other direction.
That's what I thought.
It was Ripper's pecs. And as you
Wolves
return...
generally don't come towards people unless they're hungry anyway.
Oh,
I wouldn't trust the wolves around here.
No, they're not like down south.
As you return back to the settlement of Ingstead, you can see the low wooden walls, now looking somewhat repaired from the night before. With the gates open, you can see in the centre of the settlement, slumped on the floor, her head against the grass, flaming, Ingrid, waiting for you.
I push Faeza to the front.
Oh,
I will stand at the very back.
yeah.
I will stand next to Docs.
Hi Ingrid, are you okay?
Oh, Fazer, great to see you again. I'm not going to lie, I am shattered. I never even knew that cleaning up could be so exhausting.
Oh, it really is. Do you know, one time we had an accident in our cave, which was a laboratory, and it took me 3 days to clean up. But you know, you try to start with a little job, and before you know it, you've done the whole thing. It's great.
What's a laboratory?
Is that why you learned prestidigitation to do the cleaning up?
Oh yes, before that it took forever. But yes.
And as a man, I love cleaning up after women. It's my favourite thing to do.
You're over egging it a little bit. Back off a bit. It's too much.
Right you are there, Ripper.
So we went to the barrow. By the way.
Oh, aye, what'd you find there?
Quite a lot, as it happens.
Wait, hang on. What's he doing here?
Oh, well, this is all related to what we found at the barrow.
Yeah, I'm 6. You've met me already. We've already, you're talking about him.
Uh-huh.
And you can suddenly see, looking in the town, into the kind of the settlement, a lot of people are suddenly kind of dropping what they're doing and running into their houses. And Ingrid is kind of getting to her feet, reaching behind her for her staff. She looks wary.
In front of Docs.
Before you, I mean, less haste, more speed in terms of finding out information. So before you jump to any conclusions, perhaps it would be good to talk about what we found at the barrow, because I think this will inform a lot of what you're going to do next. Is that all right?
Peter, he's dangerous. You can't believe a word he said. Honestly, he's a murderer. You've come with us. We'll protect you. It's all right. He tricks people easily.
Well, it's not so much what he's said to us. It's what he did with us that mattered to us. And actions speak louder than words.
And you can see that she looks torn. Everyone make an insight check for me.
Righto. 16.
10. Rolling pants today.
Got a 12.
19 from Ripper.
So Ripper, Octavius, and Docs, you can see that she is young. Remember, she's only 16, 17 years old. She looks like she's panicking and very unsure of herself. She is a young girl. Docs, you would know that she is not a full-fledged druid. For you to stand there is dangerous, and she's frightened.
I will put down my scythe and kneel on the floor, kneel on the ground.
Or asking, I can see you're upset. I can see you're worried. All we're asking is that you hear Faeza out. And then after that, if you don't like it, we'll walk away.
As you're saying this, she looks like she's about to answer when suddenly there is a crack And from the trees that are inside the wall, you can see one of the trees split and this green purple energy spiraling, and then out of it steps a wizened form, maybe 90, 95 years old, or at least appears that way. She's croned over with a bit of a hunch on her back, holding this wicked curling staff that has bits of kind of gnarled wood coming off it. Once red hair turned grey, although still bearing a tiny bit of kind of burnt umber at the edges, and wearing quite impressive plain brown robes. Her voice carries clearly, and you hear her say, "Ducks. Not who I was expecting to see. An even stranger girl that you'd let him set foot in here. But I see I have returned just in time."
I move in front of Docs to block line of sight with the new person.
"I'll get out of the way, boy. You're not.
No.
What are you going to do standing there?" Right.
At least defend it one shot.
You may not know this, madam. I don't know who you are. My name's Faeza. Hello. We've just completed a quest for your village because of a massive attack that happened last night. And we would like to parley about this man just here before any action happens that anyone might regret, because haste does not create friends.
And you see her kind of waddle over towards Ingrid. And when I say waddle, she sort of waddles with grace. It's a waddle that is belying her body, but not at all an awkwardness.
Like the swans in Aristocats.
Them's the ones. And she gets her gnarled staff, and you suddenly see that she's shorter than Ingrid, quite a lot shorter than Ingrid. And she just bats her on the head once with the staff.
"Foolish girl! What have I told you? See, here we have some brains. You might learn that getting excited and reaching for your staff every time is not the way to handle things. Now, Faeza, was it?
Don't know if I agree
yes.
with that, but carry on.
Hello.
Clearly you're
under
the...
his breath.
Make a stealth check.
A 13?
She just eyes you and doesn't say anything, and then goes back to Faeza.
Well, let's hear it, girl. I don't have all day.
Okay. So last night, there was an attack on the village, and your spells of protection on the walls failed. And some undead plus Vartra, I don't know, they were creatures I've not seen before. They attacked, and we managed to fight them off. And it was very exciting, but also very scary. And then in the morning, when we were recovering, Ingrid told us that she was a bit worried that the dead may be related to the barrow, and she was worried that the graves had been disturbed. So we went there on a quest to find out what was happening, and there was we got attacked by some creatures and some ghouls and so on. And then this figure, this she might indicate Docs, he was there and he was fighting on his own, and we helped him, and he definitely helped us. But I'm afraid the upshot is that your barrow has been unharrowed. Desecrated. Thank you very much. It's been desecrated. And here is a tablet that we found that says that it was deliberate by somebody, and we thought you should know. So we came back and we met Docs, and he saved us, and we chatted to him, and he warned us